Enter the clue zone. 10 strange mysteries stand between you and victory. Watch every face and every object. You have only 10 seconds each. Let the investigation begin. Challenge number 1. A fake specialist appeared during the emergency shift. It happened at a busy hospital room, and these 4 suspects all gave different accounts. Suspect number 1 says, "I finished medical school before joining this clinic." Suspect number 2 says, "I delivered laboratory results to the nurse." Suspect number 3 says, "I came from the emergency department." Suspect number 4 says, "I spoke with the head nurse at reception." Who is the fake doctor? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The imposter is suspect number 1, Sophia. The evidence contradicts Sophia's statement. Now look closely. Sophia has their stethoscope earpieces pointing the wrong way, proving they do not know how basic medical equipment is worn. That is the clue that reveals the imposter. Challenge number 2. A guest collapsed after sipping a poisoned drink. It happened at an elegant wedding reception, and these 4 suspects all gave different accounts. Suspect number 1 says, "I was taking a phone call on the balcony." Suspect number 2 says, "I was serving dessert in the kitchen." Suspect number 3 says, "I only drank water and stayed away from the table." Suspect number 4 says, "I was photographing the cake." Can you solve the evidence? Who poisoned the guest? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The killer is suspect number 3, Hannah. The evidence contradicts Hannah's statement. Now look closely. Hannah has a drop of the victim's unusual green drink on their glove, proving they prepared or moved the victim's drink. That is the clue that reveals the killer. Challenge number 3. During an event at a private jewelry exhibition, a locked jewelry case was opened without setting off the alarm. Only 4 people had the opportunity. Suspect number 1 says, "I was bidding from the back row." Suspect number 2 says, "I was checking invitations at the entrance." Suspect number 3 says, "I stayed in the lobby during the blackout." Suspect number 4 says, "I went outside to call a taxi." Look carefully. Who stole the diamond? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The thief is suspect number 3, Noah. The evidence contradicts Noah's statement. Now look closely. Noah has tiny sparkling glass fragments inside their sleeve, proving they broke or opened the display case. That is the clue that reveals the thief. Challenge number 4. During an event at a busy shopping center, a child was taken during a busy afternoon at the shopping center. Only 4 people had the opportunity. Suspect number 1 says, "I was searching for my own family." Suspect number 2 says, "I arrived only after the announcement." Suspect number 3 says, "I stayed far away from the playground." Suspect number 4 says, "I watched the parade from beside the fountain." Who kidnapped the child? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The kidnapper is suspect number 3, Victor. The evidence contradicts Victor's statement. Now look closely. Victor has the child's muddy handprint on the back of their coat, proving the child recently held onto them. That is the clue that reveals the kidnapper. Challenge number 5. At a secure research office, secret prototype plans appeared on a foreign server minutes after the meeting. Investigators narrowed the mystery to these 4 people. Suspect number 1 says, "I checked everyone's identification." Suspect number 2 says, "I escorted a visitor to reception." Suspect number 3 says, I spent the meeting repairing the projector. Suspect number 4 says, I did not enter the secure room. Who is the spy? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The spy is suspect number 4, Clara. The evidence contradicts Clara's statement. Now look closely. Clara has the classified page reflected in their eyeglasses, proving they faced and photographed the secret document. That is the clue that reveals the spy. Challenge number 6. During an event at a small neighborhood bank, a sealed envelope of cash disappeared from the office safe. Only 4 people had the opportunity. Suspect number 1 says, I stayed far away from the manager's desk. Suspect number 2 says, I delivered supplies to the kitchen. Suspect number 3 says, I took a customer's order. Suspect number 4 says, I was counting receipts at the front counter. Which suspect is responsible? Who took the money? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The thief is suspect number 1, Amira. The evidence contradicts Amira's statement. Now look closely. Amira has a banknote corner protruding from their notebook, proving they hid part of the stolen money. That is the clue that reveals the thief. Challenge number 7. At an airport inspection area, customs officers stopped 4 passengers after contraband vanished from a crate. Investigators narrowed the mystery to these 4 people. Suspect number 1 says, I spent the inspection searching for my passport. Suspect number 2 says, I never went near the restricted crate. Suspect number 3 says, I was speaking with an airline employee. Suspect number 4 says, I was repacking clothes after security checked my bag. Which suspect is responsible? Who is the smuggler? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The smuggler is suspect number 2, Elena. The evidence contradicts Elena's statement. Now look closely. Elena has packing straw from the opened crate stuck to their boot, proving they entered and opened the restricted shipment. That is the clue that reveals the smuggler. Challenge number 8. At an abandoned Victorian manor, one visitor inside the manor is not alive. Investigators narrowed the mystery to these 4 people. Suspect number 1 says, I came to photograph the old staircase. Suspect number 2 says, I searched for the building's electrical box. Suspect number 3 says, I heard footsteps and came to investigate. Suspect number 4 says, I am just another visitor on the tour. Which suspect is responsible? Who is the ghost? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The ghost is suspect number 4, Owen. The evidence contradicts Owen's statement. Now look closely. Owen has dusty footprints stopping before they reach their body, proving they did not physically walk into the room. That is the clue that reveals the ghost. Challenge number 9. At a technology convention, a prototype robot escaped and disguised itself as a staff member. Investigators narrowed the mystery to these 4 people. Suspect number 1 says, I was registering guests at the entrance. Suspect number 2 says, I have never entered the robotics wing. Suspect number 3 says, I was interviewing the project director. Suspect number 4 says, I spent the morning testing batteries. Can you solve the evidence? Who is the robot? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The robot is suspect number 2, Maya. The evidence contradicts Maya's statement. Now look closely. Maya has a diagnostic light glowing behind their ear, proving they contain hidden electronic hardware. That is the clue that reveals the robot. Challenge number 10. Smoke filled the hotel after a deliberate fire was set near the stairs. It happened at a theater backstage area, and these 4 suspects all gave different accounts. Suspect number 1 says, "I was changing costumes in another room." Suspect number 2 says, "I never handled a match or lighter." Suspect number 3 says, "I went to find a fire extinguisher." Suspect number 4 says, "I was carrying luggage to the elevator." Who started the fire? Look closely at the scene. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. Did you solve it? Let's reveal the answer. The arsonist is suspect number 2, Victor. The evidence contradicts Victor's statement. Now look closely. Victor has fresh soot on their fingertips and a burned match in their pocket, proving they recently handled the fire's ignition source. That is the clue that reveals the arsonist.